Greetings everybody, Caddy Damas here. This is the Manufacturer Series. I believe this was round 4 at Brands Hatch. This is my best qualifying lap, and as you can see, I come right up on traffic right away. This was the main problem I had on this track, is trying to do a hot lap and just getting involved in traffic and trying to make the best of it. But it's not easy on this track. But anyway, here we go. As you can see, I'm behind the Subaru here, and things are gonna get a little dicey. I mean, this guy's got a penalty. I don't understand why you just wouldn't back off. You have a penalty. What's the point of trying to push and ruin somebody else's lap? Just back off, let people pass you, and find a gap. I don't understand how hard that is, but people just cannot understand that. And as you can see, he gets a little wild there, and he comes right back in front of me, and I tap his back end. And that cost me at least a half a second right there, and it's quite frustrating. I mean, this really wasn't even that good of a lap, but I just could not get a better one in. It was just very difficult with all the traffic. You see I get a little snap oversteer here going into the corner. I had some issues with that corner right there. This Porsche likes to step out on the back end, going into and coming out of corners sometimes. But anyway, as you will see here, post a okay lap. Like I said, I definitely could have gone a lot faster, 1:34.6. But yeah, that was my best lap in the end. So, as I blow up at the end, now we get to the grid, and starting 7th, which was one of my better starting positions so far. I haven't bothered to do any other videos for these because I really have not had a good finish. This is my first season doing the Manufacturer Series. I don't know why I decided to get into it now. Just been in a really racy mood lately, so I've gotten back into Gran Turismo and gotten into doing the Manufacturer Series. And so far it's been a very interesting experience, although I'm doing more harm to myself than anything else because trying to do the daily races and keep rage quitting, but lining up in 7th on the grid. This is let's see how this goes. I do like how they go through the whole grid here. Everybody's cars. People have got some really nice liveries on their cars. I just haven't bothered to do mine. That's the guy that got in my way earlier. Not a big fan of that guy. Hello, Porsche right there. The only reason I really chose Porsche for the Manufacturer Series was because I know how they handle. Might not be the best car, but handles pretty consistently. The acceleration is a little bit weak. Tire wear is a little harsh. But all in all, it's actually not a bad car. So there we go. We got 20 cars in the grid. Mustang lining up at the back end, and we are getting ready to go. This race was pretty much 9 laps of a lot of things happening, and then the last 2 laps were pretty boring. We get ready with the rolling start here. Again though, like I gotta stop getting into 2nd gear. I should be in 1st gear. Oh, it keeps auto shifting on me up to 2nd, and keep forgetting to shift back down to 1st to get a little bit better jump. But this 1st corner, I hate this damn 1st corner. I end up going wide so many times, but really just trying to stay clean, trying to make the most out of opportunities when I see them. And you know, feels gonna get a little bunched up here to begin with. Yeah, there's that little bit of oversteer going into the corner again. You know, these races, I've found it's about staying patient, and that's one thing that I need to really work on. You know, it's not It's 11 laps. I need to just stay within myself. I need to try to stay clean. And I need to just try to wait for other people to make mistakes and take advantage of situations when I'm there. And I actually do a pretty good job of that, at least in the first couple laps here. So you see I get a nice run. Take that position. Little tap with the Ferrari, but you know, no big deal there. Just a little bump. Didn't even affect my SR. And there's the SN stepping out again onto that corner. Of course, part of it is how I enter the corner, so it's really on me. It's not so much the car. I know what the car is going to do. I just need to control it. So as you can see, these guys are getting bunched up again. You know, people start battling, and it really can pull you up to the pack. So I'm going to try to stay up with these guys, try to extend my gap over these guys behind. As you can see, these guys get some good battling right there. BMW, I think it is, going off the track up there. And I'm going to try to hold around the outside of the Ferrari. Move's not going to be there. So I'm just going to hang back for just a second. And then see, there we go. SN stepping out again. Got a car on my outside here. Very important to use the radar. Really, no, you're not having to use the right analog to look around, or the right analog in my case, since I'm using a controller, not a wheel. But I've lost a little bit of time to the cars ahead. I got this guy. If you can see him on the radar, they're usually within 3/10, so I know he's back there. I'm just going to try to hold this inside line, get a nice exit through the corner. Look for my braking point between the two boards. A lot of people don't realize it's how you exit a corner, not how you enter the corner. If you can get that speed coming out of the corner, you can really gain a lot of time. You might need to go a little bit slower into, but the exit is definitely worth it. As you can see, I do gain some time on the Ferrari here through that sector. And it's really understanding, you know, if you watch any of the Super Formula GT videos, as the car's spinning out of control there, you have to realize where your car is strong. And my car's not the strongest down the straights. My car is strong in the corners. I just sneak to the inside of the Ferrari there. I get a little hard on the brakes to avoid going into the BMW. As now I see the Audi ahead has a penalty, so I'm going to go down, try to hold it down the inside. Didn't lose the SN that time, and a nice move down the inside, up into second on lap 3, which, you know, I was feeling pretty good about, because I felt like I could be pretty strong on this track if I could stay clean and stay within myself. And you see here, he got a little sideways on the exit. I got a very good exit out of there. A little onto the grass there. Kind of squeezing me a little bit. I'm going to just hang back just a second, and there we go. See, get the exit. A little bit of a bump, but no big deal there. Holding the inside line, and I'm away. Now, if you look at the timing, I'm about not quite 5.5 seconds from first place. Right here. And I really felt like when I got in the zone on this track, I could really turn some good laps. Unfortunately, my concentration level is just not good. So as we get back down onto the main straight, I guess you'd call this a straight, I don't know, not really a straight, but I've shaved a full second off of the gap to first. And I make the mistake of looking up there, and then I just completely bottle this corner. This is going to be a running theme, bottling the first corner and losing positions. So over to the right side of the track, well, I'm ghosted, and I lose all the positions that I had just fought hard to get. You know, like I said, this is going to be a common theme, that damn first corner. So just going to try to regain my composure, get back in line, and just stay behind and try to stay clean. And coming up my inside, and he just goes for the dive bomb. Was not a huge fan of that move, because now it really kind of threw me off, and now I have another car that's got to run on me from behind. So I'm going to try to stay in his slipstream and try to keep the car behind. there, which will work for a little bit. But again, I feel like I'm really strong into this sector of the track. And I mean, you can see here, like, look at the exit I get because he goes a little too quick into the corner. I slow down early, get a great exit, but then I bottle it here, trying to go a little too quick into that corner, and he gets it right back, and then I get a bump from behind as I try to come back on the track, and then that screws me up there, and there I go. I'm going to take a little responsibility for that one. I kind of came back stupidly onto the track, and that was my apologies there. But, you know, things happen. So anyway, 11 lap race, you have to do a pit stop. I had done this race earlier, and I really liked doing the undercut. I felt like it gave you a bit more time pitting on lap 5. But of course, when you drive into the gravel, again, it doesn't really do you any favors. So yes, as I lose positions once again, as he goes right through me, and then I'm inside another car, which really kind of threw me off. I'll be honest. I was literally inside that TT for a minute. And as I lose the back end and onto the grass, I feel like I've spent most of my time here in the gravel and or the grass. So anyway, he just runs wide in protest. He had had enough and drives out of there. So back up into 9th, down into 9th from starting 7th, as high as 2nd, now back down into 9th. But I am going to be coming into the pits this lap, so let's try to have clean last half of the lap here. Again, my strongest sector, if I can stay out of trouble. I just felt like I gained so much time in those sectors, in this section right here, second half of the lap. But as you see, chaos has ensued up here as multiple people have penalties, cars are ghosting. There's this guy again who dive bombed me earlier that I wasn't too thrilled about, so yeah, I kind of do half a dive bomb here because I'm coming into the pits anyway, and I was just kind of pissed. You know, that was a little payback for earlier, which was kind of stupid. But I was starting to see a little bit of red mist between the way I was driving and between the last two races. I felt very frustrated. So as we have some fresh tires, some more fuel, and now we come out and we're all the way down into 15th place. But 2 cars drive off the track. I know that feeling all too well. And I'm right back up into 13th. I'm saying back up into, but considering I started in 7th, being down at 13th at this particular moment in time is not ideal. But we just, as we say, other people make mistakes. He goes off to mow the grass over there, and we will continue on. This corner right here, I felt like I was getting some good exits out of this corner. Felt pretty strong at this track, even though, like, normally this is not one of my better tracks, but I actually felt like I could have easily finished up in the top 3 in this race had I not been a complete and utter idiot. And that's what I really need to work on, and that's what I'm trying to work on, is my consistency. That's what's killing me right now. So, unfortunately, I haven't had much luck in any of the other races. Nothing worth showing other than a bunch of idiotic driving. As my driver rating and safety rating right now is taking a major hit from being a complete and utter idiot. But hey, I think we all know what that's like. So, anyway, a bunch of cars into the pits here as we go on to start lap 7. So, all of a sudden, I gain a whole bunch of places, and I am back up into 5th, with 4th right there. So, the undercut in this situation has definitely worked, because when I entered the pits, I was in 9th, and now, after, as I accidentally go into the back of the Mustang there, didn't expect him to brake quite that hard that early. But anyway, yes, going back to it, I really need to work on my consistency and staying patient, and if I can just stay out of trouble, then, and this right here, I really wasn't expecting this, and I'm not sure if he was just like, you know, your tires are a little warmer, you seem a little faster, but he basically just pulls right over. In a way, I was very surprised by that, because usually nobody does that. So I guess he just realized, well, right now you're a little bit faster, so I'll just stay behind you and try to use you as a slipstream. But, as you can see, unfortunately, I'm my own worst enemy as I dip a tire onto the grass, and then I still can't figure out where I got that penalty from, because I think I got that penalty before the corner that I half cut. So I'm not really sure where it gave me the half-second penalty for, but, you know, hey, Gran Turismo, the penalty simulator. So only a half a second, but a half a second penalty with this gate system really turns into about a second penalty. So, you know, and then once again, just completely bottle the first corner. I really suck at that first corner. I just don't know what it is. But at this point, I'm like, well, you know, I'm in fourth. Third place is right there. I do have the penalty, but, you know, maybe I can catch him. And as you'll see, it's just really not meant to be. Mostly because I tend to just drive like an absolute idiot. It's really the main theme of this video. And all my videos is I usually drive like an absolute idiot. One thing this game has really taught me as I've been doing these races is that I need to be a little bit more aggressive, you know. But, you know, then I do stuff like that as I go, you know, let's push a little bit and, you know, just drive off the track and protest. So, you know, like I said, everything here, most of the mistakes all come down to me. Actually, all the mistakes, with the exception of my qualifying lap, just really come down to me driving like an absolute idiot. So we're going to have to slow down here for our penalty system, which, you know, I like this penalty system, but at the same time, it is very inconsistent the way it dishes out penalties, so, you know, as I just, you know, drive all over the place here in protest, just, you know, protesting the penalty system by driving off the track. That's the way I go about doing things. But back down into 6th place, so, you know, this is a race of what could have been. It feels like every race for me is a story of what could have been had I not driven like an absolute idiot. So, I don't know. We'll see if things improve. You know, still got some races left. Did not go well at Tokyo last night. Played ping pong off the walls and collected quite a few penalties. Did not help the driver rating and or safety rating. So, the Nürburgring 24-hour is the next one coming up this week, which actually I'm feeling fairly good about because, strange as it sounds, Nürburgring is actually one of my favorite tracks to drive. And it's only 2 laps, so, you know, again, it's a story of staying on the track, staying clean, because that track, there's just really no place to pass, so really going to have to work hard at trying to get a good qualifying time and try to be up near the top of the grid, because the passing opportunities, I mean, it's the 24-hour circuit, which includes part of the GP track and then the Green Hell, but yeah, qualifying is going to be very important. So that guy goes in for a very late pit stop, which I wasn't expecting, so that was pretty much all the excitement. So as Super GT says, let's fast forward into hyperspeed for these last 2 laps, because really nothing happens. These are actually 2 of my cleaner laps that I actually stayed on the track for, which was amazing, you know, because that was very unlike me. So, you know, as we come around here, finish up this race, we're going to bring it home for 5th place, and that's my highest finish so far in the Manufacturers Series, so I was feeling pretty good about that, and then I followed it up with just 2 absolute shit races last night. So, consistency, that is the name of the game as I'm learning. So, you know, 10 on the door, so, you know, the game didn't think I would do that well, so it's 5 places above where they thought I would be. So I can't really complain about that. You know, I can at least enjoy looking at my S rating right now, because yeah, it just plummets after that. So anyway, that is it for this round of the manufacturer series. When I have another decent result, I will make a video and post it. But until then, you know, you could be waiting to the end of the year.